He's a serial rapist and a predator. He's a real danger to vulnerable women and women in general.
The actual scale of his offending could well put him as one of the most prolific sexual offenders that we've ever known in this country.
To the outside world, he presented as smart and charming, a model student at some of the world's most elite academic institutions. But it belied the reality that Zhenhao Zou is a sexual predator, a serial rapist and a voyeur.
Hello, you Mr. Zhou by any chance?
The 28-year-old from China was a PhD student at University College London when police arrested him in January last year after a woman, also from China, reported she'd been dragged to his bedroom and raped after he plied her with drink. When police searched his home, they discovered he'd filmed the rape and other depraved attacks.
OK, sir, I'm arresting you on suspicion of rape, OK, because it is alleged that on the 14th of November last year you have raped a female at this address, OK? You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence.
It was in his flat in this South London apartment block where Zou preyed on some of his victims. He tried to claim the sex was consensual, part of a rape role play, but the video evidence told a different story, depicting women either unconscious or begging him to stop. In one video shown to the jury, a woman repeatedly tries to get up and says she wants to go home, but he wouldn't let her. And when police arrested him here, they discovered over 1,600 hours of similar footage.
Police also found Viagra and drugs to intoxicate and stupefy women who he deceptively invited to his home for a drink or to study. They also discovered 200 keepsakes, described as trophies by the prosecution from some of those he attacked. The court heard he liked time-stop pornography, where a male adult film star has sex with a woman who appears frozen. When asked if he liked watching pornography where a woman is asleep during sex, he replied, "Yes, that's my favourite type, but I couldn't find that."
We already have 8 different videos of you raping at least 8 different victims.
So was charged with the rape of 10 women between 2019 and 2023 in the UK and China.
How many victims are there?
有多少个受害人？
No comments.
All of them appear to be of East Asian heritage, but police still don't know the identity of 8 of those women from his footage.
You say you're addicted to drugging, raping and videoing these women? No comments.
Another woman, who wasn't filmed, was discovered after responding to a social media post from the original complainant, calling Zou a pervert and a dirty man, and warning other women to stay away. The 2 victims' messages were shown to the jury, where the second woman struggles to say what happened to her.
I was also by him.
The original complainant responds.
The main thing is to prevent the next young girl to have this happen to her.
And then asks if the woman will join her in reporting him.
If I take the case to court, will you join me? Are you still in the UK?
To which she responds,
Not anymore, but we can be together.
She kept her word. Speaking from China, she told the court how she had originally had consensual sex with Zou, but in October 2021, in London's Chinatown, she became separated from friends and ended up alone with Zou whilst heavily intoxicated. Her next memory is waking up naked in his flat in Bloomsbury. He was raping her. She repeatedly told him to stop, but to no avail. She then lost consciousness again. Today, Zou was found guilty of rape, voyeurism, possession of an extreme pornographic image, false imprisonment, and possession of a controlled drug with intent to commit a sexual offence.
But police believe this is just the tip of the iceberg. They're yet to complete the painstaking task of analysing all of his footage, and yet they already believe there are more than 50 additional victims. And then there's the very real chance that others, both here in the UK and in China, are yet to come forward.
The actual scale of his offending could well put him as one of the most prolific sexual offenders that we've ever known in this country.
Why do you think he got away with it for so long?
Certainly the nature of his offending in terms of inviting female victims round, ostensibly on a friendly basis, but then using drugs to actually spike drinks that he'd given them, to incapacitate them, hopefully perhaps from his point of view to make them forget what had happened to them, was perhaps one of his ways of avoiding detection for his awful crimes.
Police are now appealing for women who cross paths with Zou to speak to them, particularly those from the Chinese student population in London.
Is it possible that some of these unidentified women are unaware of what happened to them?
That's a real possibility due to the nature of the types of drugs that Zou was using to incapacitate the women that he was raping. We've heard from a forensic toxicologist during the trial that some of the side effects for those sorts of drugs are things like memory loss. Someone like Zou, for example, gaslit his victims and would deny anything had happened. So again, that adds a level of complexity.
This is a case that has straddled 2 continents, in a foreign language, with an unprecedented amount of data to sift through, working backwards from the perpetrator to find the victims. Now Zhenhao Zou is convicted, police can begin the next steps to uncover the horror he unleashed on women. But the reality is, we may never know the true scale of his crimes.